Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our February edition of the Oregon City Business Alliance monthly forums. So happy to see so many of you here. As you may or may not know, we set a record last month for someone attending a city manager's presentation with 66 of you here to hear City Manager Tony Conkle's message, which was great. I'm so excited to see so many of you that want to see the vision that he has for the city, since so many things are going on right now within our community. Today, we actually kind of build on that. We have the pleasure of having representatives from the Clackamas County Economic Development Team, as well as Peter Lund from the Economic Development Commission, who basically is an advisory board to the Board of County Commissioners for the county. Catherine Grabowski is going to go ahead and introduce her team for us. And some of the things you may not know about them, but they work very closely with Greater Portland Inc., who did a presentation for our business alliance a few years ago. They go nationally and internationally, all over the world, looking to recruit new industries to our area. The Clackamas County Economic Development Team also works a lot with helping existing businesses to go ahead and expand their facilities, work through a lot of the issues that are involved in getting permits, and just being a facilitator. One of the major things that we in Oregon City get the benefit from is having the Clackamas County offices, the county seat, right here in our community. They also work a lot with all the other cities throughout the county, Wilsonville, Canby, what are some of the others that you'd like? Milwaukee, okay, yeah. And right now, I co-chair the Beaver Creek Employment Lands up on top of the hill with City Commissioner Renata Megelberg. And that's one of the things that's really important for Oregon City in creating jobs. I think that's the bottom line is Clackamas County has the same common denominators that we have here in Oregon City, quality jobs, recruitment strategies, keeping track of employment lands where new businesses can locate to, and just keeping the machine well oiled. With that being said, Catherine, I'm going to give you the floor to introduce your team. And I'll save this one for questions.
We are so thrilled to be here today, and anybody that knows our team knows that we love to talk about economic developments and our projects. I am, again, Catherine Grabowski Johnson. I manage the Economic Development Division for Clackamas County, and I'm going to bring up our incredible team. I'm so blessed to work with this incredible group. Cindy Knutson is one of our Economic Development Coordinators. John Lagarza, Economic Development Coordinator. Sam Dickey, Economic Development Coordinator. John Southgate, who is one of our project managers. And please give a special thank you to Karina Copeland, who is our administrative assistant, and she keeps the ship running, let me tell you, and on course. I also want to thank our incredible interim director of Business and Community Services, Laura Zentner. She is an incredible leader to our economic development team and supportive of our efforts. And I also want to thank Eric Underwood and our partnership with Oregon City, and we'll talk a little bit about the partnerships that we have with the cities in Clackamas County. And then you will also hear from Peter Lund, who is immediate past chair of the Economic Development Commission, which is an advisory board to the Board of County Commission on economic development issues. So we wanted to share a little bit today about the programs that we have at Clackamas County. So this is our program overview. We have 10 major programs that we work on a daily basis that are ongoing programs and support the economic activities throughout the county. In addition to this, we have special projects and then also opportunities that may come up throughout the year that we work on. So we're going to share a little bit. We'll try and keep this brief. We have a slide for each one of our programs, so I'm just going to invite the team to come up as we talk about the various areas that we are involved in. The first program is our economic landscape. We track the industries throughout Clackamas County, and we've gone back now to 2010 and looked really closely at what those trends are in businesses and look at what can we do to help industries. You're going to hear a little bit about the CLT and the woodworking industry and how that's changed and how we are able to work with new opportunities for technologies. As you can see, we have advanced technology, healthcare, food and beverage processing. In addition to what we do, we consider ourselves urban economic development. We work with our cities and we work at the county level to serve all of the county. We also do have a rural economic development who's led by Rick Gruen, and he's the natural resources manager, manages forests, county parks, and he also has programs on rural economic development. So we cross when it comes to things like food and beverage processing and those types of agricultural industries. The software and media production program, as you know from having recent success with a Netflix series that is filmed in Oregon City, is a robust industry throughout the county. And then, of course, our advanced manufacturing, metals and machinery. Clackamas County is really known even nationwide. As I meet with site selectors nationwide, they are recognizing the metals manufacturing industry in the county. So first I'm going to invite Cindy Knutson to come up and talk about our business retention expansion program and share a little bit about what's involved in serving businesses.
I like the applause in between. That's so kind. Thank you very much. So I have the privilege of leading our business retention, expansion, and recruitment efforts on behalf of the county, again, in partnership with our cities, thanks to Eric in Oregon City. And so our goal in this program is to really make sure that the businesses in our community are aware of the amazing services that we have countywide. And this could come in the form of workforce development programs in partnership with the college and our other service providers. It could come in the form of financing programs for companies who are looking to expand and make capital investments with our private lenders in the community who are also in the room as well. So again, just trying to be the facilitator and matchmaker to resources that are available, first and foremost for our existing businesses to help them grow and expand. We also partner, as mentioned in our introduction, with Greater Portland Inc. when it comes to recruitment efforts. So probably about 90% of our time is spent locally, again, with the existing businesses. But again, if somebody's interested in growing in Clackamas County, we certainly answer that call and provide information countywide on facilities that might be available or even employment lands to do a build-to-suit. A couple of the tools that we wanted to highlight today, just so you're aware, we do subscribe to a database that allows us the opportunity to look for properties that are available, again, for lease or for sale, and track trends in the industry. This is not meant to compete at all with the brokerage community, but again, to complement those services for somebody who might be pre and advanced work of engaging with a local broker. We track leads, so we provide reports annually to the Board of County Commissioners on the activities that are happening with our clients, where they're looking and what they're looking for. We also manage 5 enterprise zones. Anybody familiar with enterprise zones? Countywide, okay. So it's a state tax abatement program that we administer locally. We have 5 countywide, and what that allows is an opportunity for a 3 or a 5-year tax abatement on new investments in capital or machinery and equipment. And so that's really one of the key incentives that we have competing globally for businesses. And again, there's 5 across the county, and we work in partnership with Eric for the one that you have here in Oregon City. A couple other of the incentive programs are strategic investment zones. Those are projects that are about over $100 million in investment, so we're still looking for that one. If anybody knows, feel free to give Eric or I a call. And then rural renewable energy development zones. When it comes to solar panels or bioenergy projects, the state also has those programs available that we administer locally. And then for any retail or commercial activity that's happening, again, we serve everybody. Our focus is on traded sector, as Catherine mentioned. But if we do have other customers who have different needs, we also partner with the Small Business Development Center quite a bit, and then have subscribed to a service called Tools for Business Success that's available on our website. So just a couple of programs to highlight there for you. Thank you.
If you can imagine being an economic development professional and receiving a call from a business who says, I would like to come to Clackamas County. I've heard about your county. I want to locate my business there. I need 20 acres. I'm going to bring 200 employees. What do you have? That is where we look at, okay, what do we have in terms of available employment land? So that's one of the things our department tracks. We work very closely with the planning department at the county, but what we look at are those lands that are available now and make sure that they are market ready. Last fall, we were really blessed to have John LaGarza, who has 20 years of experience as a developer, join our team and has been focused on our employment land initiative and our brownfield initiative. So John's going to talk a little bit about what that program looks like.
Thank you, Catherine. Pleasure to meet everyone here today. The employment lands, as everyone knows and has talked about, is becoming more scarce within the metro region here. So one of the things that I do as the oversight working on employment lands is naturally I work with all the economic development managers within the cities and in unincorporated Clackamas County areas there. And our main focus on the employment lands is looking for large tax lots that are 5 acres plus that can range from up to 5 to 25 acres or even larger than 25 acres. And it's vital important that we have parcel owners that are willing to transact, to work with the economic development managers, to also work with the public agencies to identify what the needs requirement are to be able to make these lots developable. We also do, as noted, we partner with Business Oregon, the Greater Portland Metro Region, Portland General Electric, Northwest Natural Gas, because it's important for us to understand what those infrastructure costs are going to take to be able to get these sites readiness for development opportunities for us. Closer home within Oregon City, as is noted, is you have the Beaver Creek Employment Zone here. It's a great opportunity here of about 90 to 100 acres that become ready available employment lands as we move forward. So I look forward to meeting everyone here and working with you in the future here. Thank you.
I mentioned working with Eric and our community partnerships, and that is critical to our success. So we work in terms, like Cindy said, when a lead comes in, either from the state or through GPI, we partner with our communities and look at how we can support them in their responses to those. Someone asked me, how often do you interact? We literally have contact with one of the cities in the county every single day, and most times, multiple times a day. And we help serve on the steering committee for the Beaver Creek employment area. We also host roundtables for all of the economic development practitioners. We do this quarterly, where we share best practices so everyone in the county can know the successes, learn from each other, and then we also have guest speakers come in to talk about issues. So those are some of the ways that we work with community partnerships. Then we're going to talk a little bit later about the special projects. One of the things I mentioned with the new technologies is how we look at what's going on in the industry and new opportunities that come along. Sam Dickey joined our team last fall, I think in October, and we tease him, we say that we think that he sleeps at night thinking of CLT because he's so excited about it and has become an expert. So he's going to share with you about this exciting new program.
Hi, everyone. As Catherine mentioned, my name is Sam Dickey, and I'm an economic development coordinator with Clackamas County. And a couple of years ago, Clackamas County heard of this new innovative technology called cross-laminated timber and decided that this would be a great priority for the county to develop an initiative because we believed that it could bring jobs to the region and it could establish us as a leader in the industry. So how many of you guys have heard of cross-laminated timber? Okay, so most of the room, obviously we're in the Pacific Northwest where trees grow abundantly and we've had a rich culture of wood traditions. I'm from Missouri originally, so my friends back home are like, what the heck is cross-laminated timber? But it's been amazing to get to know the industry out here. And the county, like I said, has identified really 3 priorities for cross-laminated timber and how Clackamas County can be a leader in that field. And so the first is to develop a supply initiative where we will harvest more timber off of federal lands which will increase the retained receipts for the county, meaning that we can build more roads, bridges, schools, and increase our infrastructure. The dual effect for that will actually be to lower the price of the material and allow it to be built more frequently throughout the region, not just here in Oregon and Washington, but across the country. The second priority that we've identified is working with our building codes department to allow for more descriptive pathways to build with the material. At the moment, it's actually fairly difficult to build with CLT. In Portland, they've had to defer to the state. It hasn't been ratified into the building codes, the international building codes at the moment. There's a vote on that coming up in April. However, at the moment, it's still fairly difficult to build with the material. So our building code staff actually has many years of experience working with innovative technologies, and we believe we can work with architects and engineers and developers right from the beginning to build projects here in Clackamas County. And then the third priority that we've identified is to foster public-private partnerships that really bring together all the tools in our toolkit as economic development, and then to bring those to the table with developers and architects to not only build projects here in Clackamas County, but to eventually bring a manufacturer to the region. And all of that, as we've identified as a county, we think we can establish Clackamas County as not only a regional leader, but also an international leader in CLT. Thank you.
Our export initiative we have worked on for about the last 6 years, looking at how we can support our businesses. One of the things a lot of you may have heard recently is that we've hosted several delegations from China, and a year ago we formed a sister county partnership with Guanyun County in China, and building those relationships to learn from each other and to open up export opportunities. So Cindy's going to talk a little bit about what that export initiative looks like.
So over the past 6 years, we have hosted in this room International Global Trade Summit for Clackamas County specific companies and residents. We've brought leaders out from the export assistance areas of the U.S. Department of Commerce, Business Oregon, and others, and also partnered with local businesses to share their stories, things they did well, things they would do differently, and that's been an amazing success for the last few years. We now feel like we're going to take it in a little bit of a different direction than an annual event. We're going to do a more focused series of focused groups to talk about really what's happening in exports in Clackamas County and where can we make strategic partnerships and initiatives in play to make sure that these things continue to move forward. It's one thing to bring resources out to make sure that everybody's aware, but now we want to be tactical about what that means and how we can share our successes and move the initiative forward. So we'll be sharing information as it comes out on kind of what our next steps are and what those focus groups could look like. Most recently, we did partner again with Greater Portland Inc., who's taken the lead regionally on the export initiative through their Greater 2020 plan, and we plugged in a local Oregon City company, Oregon Trail Distilling. Anybody been there, Trail Distillery? Yep, they're fantastic, just past Stone Creek on Highway 213. So they are part of an initial cohort of companies who are learning how to best position themselves to benefit from exporting opportunities. So just happy to share that we have a local OC company in the play right now. So more to come on that, so thank you very much.
We also partner with our communities on redevelopment, and John Southgate has worked with us for about 2 years now on representing us on special projects. Last year was the North Milwaukee Industrial Area Study. So John's going to give you an overview of what that support and those projects look like.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, I think a lot of the initiatives you've heard about are sort of broad-based and serve a lot of the county, but some of our efforts are focused on some very specific areas. I know that you heard from Tony Conkle last month, so you're probably pretty up to date on Willamette Falls. Suffice to say, it represents an enormous opportunity of statewide significance, but I think above all for Oregon City, that the opportunity for the redevelopment of the Willamette Falls site and the construction of the Riverwalk to help spur even more revitalization in downtown Oregon City, which is already ahead of the game. Thank you, Carol and team. So we continue to work on that. I think we've encountered some challenges on that, but I think we're all confident that at some point we're going to have a stellar redevelopment combining the Riverwalk, providing public access to this unique asset with redevelopment that entails both revitalization of some of the great old buildings there as well as new development. If you haven't been on that site, you have to go. I'm a native of Oregon. I've lived here my whole life. I only saw it for the first time about 5 years ago, and it blew me away. Also working on the Park. I also want to say, you probably have heard that Westland Paper across the way has closed, which is sad, and we're working to with our partners, including the Clackamas Workforce Partnership and the college, to find new jobs for those who've lost their jobs. But that also represents an even greater opportunity now to have both sides of the river. Just think about the possibilities of tying those two together. Park Avenue is the other project that I'm focused on. You may know that the Park Avenue station, which is the southernmost station of the Orange Line, sort of the southern terminus of the Orange Line, there's a community vision for that area, for McLaughlin Corridor, called the McLaughlin Area Plan, MAP. However, as is often the case, the vision is one thing, and it's a great vision that enjoys a lot of community support, but the zoning, the regulatory framework doesn't align with that vision, not completely. So we have received a grant from Metro to work with a consultant team to prepare zoning regulations that better align with the vision of a higher density, more transit supportive, pedestrian friendly, community embracing area. And I'll say, in addition to writing zoning code, which is as exciting as that sounds, this effort is also going to have a very strong community engagement component. There's a lot of community involvement, community interest. Make sure we do it right. So we're not just going to write a zoning code and talk to developers about what the code should look like, but we're also going to make sure to aggressively reach out to the community so that it's their plan, not just ours.
I do want to take a minute to thank our incredible leadership, the Board of County Commissioners. We recently brought to them an idea in addressing brownfields and how we can look at brownfields as an opportunity to reclaim those lands and to turn them into productive employment lands. And our board has always believed in economic development and support us, and we're greatly appreciative of that. So with this new initiative we're really excited about, John LaGarza is focused on how we can look at this as an opportunity. So he's going to talk about Land Bank Authority.
Hello again. Well, thank you, Catherine. And again, thank you to the commissioners. They took a major step last week in approving us to move forward and doing a business plan study for a brownfield land bank. This is vitally important. Again, as we look at the metro region, we realize the scarcity of employment lands. And this could be a mechanism. In 2015, legislation passed House Bill 2734 that allows a municipality to be able to set up a land bank authority. So what we're going to be doing is, over the next 6 months here, is we'll hire a consultant. We'll work with that consultant through the summer, and we'll report back to the board. Some of the things that we will do when we're looking to develop the business plan is we're going to be looking at a 5-year projection, right? We'll look at what kind of seed capital will take necessary to start the land bank authority. What is the ongoing necessary capital to be able to fund a land bank authority? And then what are some of the sources and uses available to be able to fund acquisition and rehab of these sites? This is a great time. It's a great opportunity here for Clackamas County to be a trailblazer and being the first one in the state of Oregon to establish a brownfield land bank authority. So, thank you.
We have, for the last 7 years, had a Main Street program at the county level. Most of you that know the incredible leadership with the Oregon City Main Street, and congratulations on being nominated as the Great American Main Street Award, right? And so we'll find out at the national convention in March. But we also partner with our communities. I have a Main Street background. I started 20-some years ago in economic development, managing Gresham Downtown Development and their Main Street program. And we believe in it. We believe that when we cultivate businesses, and as Cindy said, we focus on traded sector industries, but where do those employees live? Where do they go to school? Where do they shop? What is that identity of the communities throughout Clackamas County? It's critical as we bring businesses in that we tell the full story of the opportunities that we have in the cities in Clackamas County. So we support the Main Street efforts of our communities. One of the ways that we have supported them for the last 5 years is with what we call 3D Downtown. This is a program that we developed. We partnered with an architectural firm, and we give grants throughout the year. We give one grant to each community each year to look at those properties where maybe the property owner just needs to take that visual step in looking at what could this property look like. The first year we did the program, we invested $50,000 in the program, and by the end of that next year, there had been over $2 million of private investment. So not a bad return on the effort for this program. It's an ongoing program. We've done things like adaptive reuse of an alleyway for Lake Oswego, parking in Malala, infill development in the city of Canby. So we've actually done projects throughout our entire county. We've done several for downtown Main Street and Oregon City, so we're really excited about this. So this is an ongoing program that we support and constantly look for opportunities. It's very important that we tell the story, especially as we're trying to recruit businesses and let our existing businesses know that we're here. So we're really glad that Sam came on board, and he's going to talk about the new social media and our new website, and it's all yours.
Thanks, Catherine. So in addition to working on our CLT initiative, I'm also helping to craft our marketing efforts for business and economic development. So one of the first things that we decided to do when I came on was to craft and to design a social media outreach campaign. So we're working on developing that at the moment to really engage with our county followers on Facebook, on Twitter, and on other social media platforms to not only let existing businesses but potential future businesses know about the services that Clackamas County Business and Economic Development provides. One of the other interesting things that we're working on now is redeveloping and kind of recreating the Made in Clackamas series. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of those videos. They were tailored after the How It's Made videos from back in the day. We've decided to go and ask businesses around the community in the manufacturing sectors and in other sectors and other industries and basically go and spend a day with them and figure out how they make their products and film them. They've done about 3 or 4 videos of these so far, but we're going to start doing more of these as we get into the summer months. We've already got a couple of them scheduled, and we're going to tailor them specifically for social media to engage with folks on social media, and then we're going to have the longer form videos as well. So I'm really excited about that initiative. So all in all, we've got a lot of really great opportunities for our marketing campaign to really build a robust marketing strategy that's going to engage with folks in Clackamas County and the existing businesses here and the businesses we hope to recruit. Thank you.
Our team is really excited that we get to work with this 25-member board called the Economic Development Commission. It is an advisory group to the Board of County Commissioners on economic development issues. We staff and manage those monthly meetings and the overall work plan. And Peter Lund, who, as I said, is immediate past chair and on the executive committee, is going to talk about these really important issues that the EDC looks at.
Thank you, Catherine, and thanks for having us today. The Economic Development Commission is a particularly excellent advisory board. It serves a singular function, which is to bring private citizens, particularly employers, together with our policymakers to talk about how we can make Clackamas County the best place possible to live and work. And to accomplish this, we discuss the major issues of the day, and here's a list of some of the things we've discussed over time. Redevelopment opportunities, the urban growth boundary, particularly transportation. Paul and I have been discussing transportation for years, and I don't think we're ever going to stop as long as we show up at 7:30 a.m. to discuss it. The Economic Development Commission exists to provide this advisory function And the folks who are members are private citizens. We show up at 7:30, sans coffee. Happily, the staff provides us coffee. And we sit down and discuss these policies. We are briefed by the board. We have conversations with the policymakers, and we'll often make policy recommendations based on the needs and the discussions of the day. At the end of the year, we present all of this work in a final report to the commission. And one of the most rewarding things about this is that we've been able to see policy come into place based in part on our discussion. So particularly the North Milwaukee industrial area, Park Avenue Station, those have been issues that have been discussed and honed at EDC and are now being enacted as policy. We're very blessed to live in Clackamas County for numerous reasons. One of them is that we have an extremely responsive, effective government. And as Commissioner Fisher stated earlier, this is a pivotal time for Clackamas County. And having this extremely effective leadership from the top all the way down makes Clackamas County ready for all of these changes. Paul and I first met years and years and years ago when we were both private citizens on a county board. He has continued that work in a public capacity. I've continued that work in a private capacity. It is a rare thing to see this type of commitment in a community. We have it, you're part of it, and I'm really looking forward to continuing this work with all of these great people as we go. So thanks for having us today.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you once again for having us here today. We really appreciate the opportunity to share our work. Our door is open to any of you if you have any questions. I don't know if we have time for questions. We sure do. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, our team would be happy to answer any. Yes.
Hi, I'm Nick Vorosky. I'm on the Oregon City Board of Alliance, Business Alliance Board. I'm also a private real estate investor and developer of workforce housing. And I'm wondering if you are running into any issues in any of your land use planning where you're being stymied by technical definitions of wetlands or actions by the National Marine Fisheries Service to control areas of waterways and that type of stuff.
We do. What we try to do is we look at a site and we incorporate all of our available lands into a study. We usually work with an engineering group that will come in and do an assessment of our lands. We've done this countywide. We've broken them out into development areas, such as Canby, such as the Beaver Creek Employment Area, North Clackamas Industrial Area. We look at those sites and then work with those property owners to identify those obstacles. Sometimes there are obstacles. One of the great partners we have at Business Oregon is through the Governor's Regional Solutions team, and they will come in and they have met with us. For example, we were working on we call it the Chow site. It's a Clackamas Industrial Area Opportunity Site, 42 acres that had some issues. So Regional Solutions met with us, brought everyone to the table from all of the agencies so that we could have one meaningful discussion about the obstacles to redevelop. So we try to help with those partnerships.
Have another question?
Hi, my name is Shannon McKinney. My company's DT Glass, and I would say I've experienced as a business owner the situation where I have a goal and a vision and an ideal of how I want our customers to feel, only to find that sometimes on the front line, the people with the direct experience with those customers aren't providing the same type of feeling that I would like them to. You guys seem to have that situation where you're trying to create this approach and bring people in, but then they have interactions with whether it's permitting or some of the zoning and things like that. I know with my employees, I have direct control over changing their approach. What kind of controls or what do you use and how do you learn that there's some disconnect between how you want people to feel and how they're actually feeling when they work with the city or county?
That's a great question. 2 years ago, we formed an internal business response team at Clackamas County that is our economic development department, our planning and building codes departments, and our transportation departments, just for that reason, so that we are all working together to assist the ultimate customer, who is the business owner. And our team meets monthly. We get together and talk about projects. We talk about any concerns with existing projects, and we've formed a really great partnership with the others. It's easy for us sometimes as economic development folks to say, sure, come on in, build your building here. But then we have to turn it over, and we don't get to make those decisions and shouldn't make those decisions on the building size and the building code and the land use. And we rely on our incredible partners to guide us and to work together to solve problems.
Okay, Carol.
Okay, this might be a hard question. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience working with Metro on identifying employment lands and what Metro can do to really assist you in the employment lands within the urban growth boundary and outside?
That's a big question. I think that maybe one of the best ways to look at what we do in economic development is we work with Metro, we work with our planners, we work with under board direction to look at especially the issue of employment lands. How do we grow? Where do we grow? We've kind of divided it to where we focus on available lands, but also because we're the ones that get the demand. We're the ones that get the state and the regional requests for businesses who want to come here. So then we share those. We have a great working relationship with Metro. I think they understand. They've invested a number of grants for us. The North Milwaukee Industrial Area Grant was just such a grant to look at employment lands and how do we maybe repurpose existing lands to create higher density. And that was a $250,000 grant. The Park Avenue Station grant is a $180,000 Metro grant, and we're supporting our communities in that way. So in terms of partnership on the lands at the level that we work at, we have a great working relationship. It is an issue, though. As I said, it's the worst feeling if you have someone asking for a product and you can't deliver it. So we're trying to get as much product as we can ready for delivery.
So along those same lines, Catherine, and I appreciate everything that you and your team have been able to share with us today, talking about working together and partnerships with Metro and here in Oregon City, partnerships with the county. Last night I gave testimony at the Planning Commission on the adoption of the Alternative Mobility Standard, which basically is dealing with how do we improve the intersection of Highway 213 and Beaver Creek Road. It's heavily used. In fact, a study has recently come out that said over 60% of the traffic that actually comes through that intersection is generated outside of the city of Oregon City. However, the city is trying to take on this situation individually to go ahead and try to make it better. Since we're all dealing with this from a regional standpoint, and the county is now going to be building a new courthouse up on top of the hill in the Red Soils Complex, approximately $150 million facility, which is going to generate more traffic through that intersection. How can your team work together with Metro and the city to try to find a funding mechanism at the state legislature, since it's a state highway, to try to improve that intersection?
That's a great question, not just for the Beaver Creek employment area, but as we look at the employment areas like Happy Valley, Damascus, we look at the needs of that area. As John was saying, only the first step is to find a property owner that's willing to transact on their property. We have to make sure that that property is serviced, and things like we were just talking about, getting the land itself ready, and then we look at the infrastructure infrastructure, then we look at the transportation, and it takes all of us working together. Our team sits on a number of boards and councils and committees that all focus on economic development. They may be transportation, they may be workforce, and so we sit and try to work together and support all of these efforts. And I think the stronger voice is one voice working together. And as we come out of this with city, county, metro, regional, state, that we can all have one voice of support for these they're really critical issues in allowing us to grow and to maintain. We have businesses that want to expand in Clackamas County, and whether they want to expand on their existing property and need assistance that is maybe adding 5 to 10 trucks a day, or whether it's looking for new areas, it does take one voice working together.
Certainly a lot of valuable information there, Catherine, and your team is well prepared and is doing an amazing job in getting your message out. So we thank you for coming. John, good to see you. Thank you, Cindy.